Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment and another edition of your Monday Night Raw reviews. And for this week, it was your December 4th, 2017 edition of WWE Raw. So, we had our show here tonight, first show of December. We are officially into the Christmas season, the Christmas month. Holiday shopping has commenced as of Black Friday. We are officially in these cold, chilly December months. And it's not just cold and chilly outside. It's not just unwelcoming weather that you're getting. It's unwelcoming editions of Monday Night Raw that we're going to be getting going forward. We got one of those last week. We didn't surprisingly get one of those here tonight, which actually surprised me. We had a lot of great matches here tonight, or I shouldn't say great, good matches, and it goes to show you that if WWE on these Raw shows wants to rely on wrestling instead of storytelling when they do not really have anything to build up to, which they don't, it perfectly works, because at the end of the day, what are we watching Monday Night Raw for? It's not world wacky entertainment. I don't know. It's not world wacky entertainment. It's world wrestling entertainment. And at the end of the day, we're coming in to watch wrestling. And here tonight, it was a very good night for wrestling. Here tonight, you had Roman Reigns defending his Intercontinental Championship against Jason Jordan. And it was a good match. It was a good match. Now, I have my complaints about that, and we will discuss that, and that's why you should stay tuned to the Monday Night Raw review. But that's besides the point. That was a very good matchup, is what I'm getting to. We had in our main event a matchup that was clearly going to be good from the get-go, that you knew was going to be good before Monday Night Raw even started. You had Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, the Shield, against Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar. That was a very good matchup here tonight. The Fatal 4-Way that the Cruiserweights had was actually very surprisingly a good matchup here tonight. WWE actually gave these Cruiserweights time to go out there, and it was a very good matchup. Paige versus Sasha Banks, another one, which WWE gave this matchup a lot of time. They were in that ring where Paige and Sasha Banks for a while, and the match had time to develop, and you really had time to watch this matchup, and these women at the end put on a good matchup here tonight on Monday Night Raw. So as far as wrestling goes, this was a good night. This was a good night. Another thing that I am very excited to discuss on this show, and we'll go into more detail about that later on in the show, but an absolutely delightful segment of Monday Night Raw here tonight, because so far it seems like WWE is nailing the WWE version of the broken Matt Hardy character, Woken Matt Hardy. It seems like they are nailing this to a T. The wackiness of the character of Matt Hardy, of broken Matt Hardy, I think they captured that perfectly here tonight. Because, yeah, it's a gimmick we all want to see, and we want to see this gimmick go to serious high heights. But you need to remember that this gimmick, when we first seen it in TNA, I was like, what the hell is Matt Hardy doing? What is this wacky bullshit that we're seeing from Matt Hardy, is the only word I could use to describe it. And eventually it grows on you, and it grows on you in a very, very good way, because it's this addicting verbiage that Matt Hardy uses. The delete, the wonderful, the delightful, the deletion. All that verbiage really gets you with the gimmick. On top of that, it's the wackiness of the character. It's the uniqueness of the character. And WWE seemed to nail that to perfection here tonight. And you know why they seem to nail that to perfection? Because it seems like Matt Hardy was allowed freedom with what he did here tonight with the broken or woken gimmick. It is officially being gone as woken by the WWE, but I mean, it is the beginning phases of this. Maybe Matt Hardy hasn't procured the rights to the broken character, which I think he did win the battle against TNA, like on like a lawsuit against them or something like that, where he did get the rights to the gimmick. Not just that TNA said that they're not going to do anything, which they did. They said that they did a complete 180, and they said that they are not going to hold anything against their performers who had a gimmick in their company, that they can use that outside of TNA or Impact Wrestling or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's gone by so many names at this point. I can't even remember, bro. I can't even remember. What are we up to? Impact Wrestling? Global Force Wrestling? TNA? Total Nonstop Action? I don't know, but it seems like they are not going to be tampering with that, and if they do want to use broken in the future, I think they can use that. Maybe it's going to be a transition. Now he's awoken, and he will eventually go from awoken to broken. I don't know. But if they want to keep woken, I honestly don't mind it. Changing a W or a BR with a W really makes no difference to me, as long as we're seeing the character here tonight. I'm fine, bro. I was absolutely delighted, entertained by what we've seen with Matt Hardy here tonight. Very, very good stuff, and we're going to discuss that in more detail. We're going to go over the segment he had with Bray Wyatt, who finally seems to be in something that actually fits him. But that is besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. It was a decent show here tonight for Monday Night Raw. There was the average garbage on Raw. The commentary team is still a load of crap. The commercial breaks are still there. It's still a 3-hour show. It is still a 3-hour show that goes on for way too long, and that needs to be discussed each and every time that I come on here, because it is simply a problem with Monday Night Raw. But as far as Monday Night Raw goes, this show was not too bad compared to what we've been getting for the rest of the year, which, we've been getting some awful shows on Monday Night Raw for this entire year, for the past 3 years for that matter. So this show, compared to that, was not too bad. But before we do get into talking about this show here tonight, of course, like always, I want to tell you to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Yup, make sure to go check out your Raw and Smackdown live reviews for last week. You had last week Samoa Joe knocking out Roman Reigns with the Coquina Clutch. Roman Reigns was defending his Intercontinental Championship against Elias. So if you missed the review and results, if you missed that show, if you want to know what happened on there, we have that covered for you on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Same thing with SmackDown Live. Not a lot happened on SmackDown Live, so you really didn't miss anything. But in case you do want to know what the quality of that show was, we do talk about that on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel on Tuesday. And of course, like always, your weekend's production right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. That is, of course, the whatchamacallit, behind the mic. My memory is fading me, bro. After sitting through 3 hours of anything, you are going to be burnt out. I'm burnt out after watching Monday Night Raw, like I always am. But that's besides the point. You had Behind the Mic, episode number 47, this past Saturday. We were talking huge news. John Cena being sued by Ford Motors. So that was the big news going around that weekend, as well as Royal Rumble plans for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar going into a triple threat for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. Who's he going into that triple threat with? Find out on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, Behind the Mic, episode number 47. We're talking all the biggest news. It's not just those 2 news stories that I spoke to you about right there. There's 4 other news stories. We usually do 6. That's exactly what we did this past weekend on Behind the Mic, so make sure to go check that out. I like to tout that as the premier program of the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. If I had to pick one as a podcast, it wouldn't be your Raw review, it wouldn't be your Smackdown review, it would be Behind the Mic. So make sure to go check out Behind the Mic, because we do that each and every single Saturday, or when we're late, I'll admit it, we are sometimes, on Sunday. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to go check all that out. And of course, if you enjoy that, if you enjoy what you're watching right now on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, there's one fantastic way for you to support. Actually, there's multiple ways for you to support and to show your gratitude, because it helps me out most definitely, and it helps this entire channel out. And that is for you to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Make sure to click on that subscribe button. If you don't want to click on that subscribe button, I'm sure there's the little icon on the lower right of your screen. I did put that in there earlier today. It should be showing up on my videos. Not sure if it is. So if you guys want to make sure to comment that down below, is it showing up or not, tell me, and maybe test it out yourself if it is there. Subscribe by clicking on that lower right icon. It should say subscribe now if YouTube is working correctly. Another thing that I'm going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to be leaving a little comment for you guys down in the comment section below. I'm going to be asking you here tonight. It's going to be very basic. I'm going to be asking you, what did you think Raw was a good show or a bad show here tonight? Going to be a very basic question, but I'm going to be leaving questions like that on the bottom comment section of all my videos, so make sure to comment down there and answer the question. And of course, I would love to respond to all of you to get more interactive with the people watching the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel on this Raw review. So I'm going to be leaving a question. What did you think of Raw here tonight? Good or bad? Tomorrow night on Smackdown, we'll do the same. I'll maybe ask a question that's a little bit more complex. But so make sure to interact through that. And of course, leave a like. Smash that like button if you enjoy what you're hearing here. Hit that like button with a spear if you like Roman Reigns. Hit that like button with a knee, like Michael Cole says, right? The knee on Monday Night Raw. So make sure to hit that like button. And of course, make sure to go check out all the other content and the Twitter account of the same name. We live tweet with Raw. Not too many tweets here tonight with Monday Night Raw, but we did tweet out some things when I thought it was important to tweet. I did tweet out what I thought of the show, the Matt Hardy segment, particularly that. If you want to know what I'm thinking about the show as the show is going on live, you can make sure to go check out the Twitter, leave a follow on there, make sure to follow the Twitter, and it also notifies you when I upload. You know what else notifies you when I upload? If you click on that notification bell, I know so many things to plug. Click on that notification bell. Helps me out tremendously, and it also helps you out if you want to know when the content is coming up for the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So make sure to go check out all those other things, notification bell, Twitter, all the other videos, over 300 videos for your viewing pleasure right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So make sure to go check that all out, and of course make sure to comment and respond to the question that I upload, or comment down in the comment section below. So there you go. For now, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. Make sure to go check all that out, because for now, we're going to be going into this Monday Night Raw review, and we are, of course, in Los Angeles, the mean streets of Los Angeles, like Stone Cold says it on his podcast. I love the Stone Cold podcast, so make sure to go check that one out, of course. The mean streets of Los Angeles, California here tonight. Clearly a good crowd. Clearly much better than whatever we seen last week in Tennessee, right? God awful what we seen in Tennessee last week. That crowd sucked all the life out of the show, which had no life to begin with. So realistically, the crowd did nothing to help the show, but that's besides the point, because we start off here tonight, and it is the opening segment of Raw. We went straight to the ring, and out came our general manager, Kurt Angle. As the "You Suck" chants started up, Angle welcomed us, and he plugged tonight's Raw Tag Team title match Angle says that's not the only title match for tonight, as Roman Reigns will defend due to what happened last week. The music interrupts, and out comes Jason Jordan. Jordan says he wants to fight Reigns tonight. Angle isn't interested, bringing up how Jordan's knee is still bandaged up. Jordan, he says that he can handle it. He mentions guys like John Cena, Kane, Braun Strowman, and The Miz, saying he held his own with every single one of them. Fans gave Jordan the what treatment next, as they should have, because did you really hold your own with Braun Strowman, buddy? Anyways, fans, we already read that. Jordan says Reigns has issued open challenges to anyone who wants to step up and take the title. Jordan says he's ready to step up because he knows he can beat Reigns. He just needs a chance, Dad. The boos continue because who likes Jason Jordan in his current iteration as a babyface? Hopefully this is WWE actually trying to turn this guy heel. It's like one moment, alright, I see him turning heel, and then the next moment he does something completely babyface. So I don't understand what direction they're going in with this guy. I'm thinking it's heel, but then he wants to help out Roman Reigns when Samoa Joe is attacking him after he already lost his matchup in the next segment. So I don't even know. But Jordan, the music hits of Roman Reigns, and out comes the WWE Intercontinental Champion to a mixed reaction, as he should. Reigns tells Angle he's a fighting champion, and he's going to tell Angle who he's fighting, but it won't be his son. Reigns wants to fight Samoa Joe. Reigns tells Jordan if he wants an opportunity, don't go run into his daddy, because he's just getting laughed at. Reigns tells Jordan to step up and take it. Jordan asks Reigns if he's seriously going to lecture him about earning opportunities. Jordan says Reigns is the poster boy for what WWE management wants. They have some words and face off until the music hits, and out comes Samoa Joe. And Joe clearly made this segment so much better than it was. Joe says as much as he'd love to sit in the back and watch these two act tough, his patience has run thin. Joe says if Reigns is done patronizing the kid, he accepts the challenge. And because he's merciful at times, he will give Reigns 5 seconds to withdraw his challenge to avoid the embarrassment, because they know Reigns can't beat Joe. Jordan laughs and addresses Joe, saying he doesn't have to come out here to try to act tough, because unlike Joe, he actually is tough. Oh ho ho. Because he doesn't have to come out and attack from behind, he issues challenges in people's face, just like he just challenged Reigns, and just like he's about to challenge Joe. Reigns tells Jordan to stay in his lane. Reigns turns his back on Joe and says the 5 seconds are up. Jordan comes from behind and drops Reigns on his head. Angle backs Jordan out of the ring and yells at him as Reigns gets to his feet. Reigns says it's not going down like this. Reigns says Joe can wait until later tonight, but Jordan can get it right now. Reigns tells Angle to make the match. Jordan returns to the ring and faces off with Reigns as Angle keeps them apart. So that leads us to Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan for the Intercontinental Championship. I like how they're keeping Samoa Joe as like the main segment. Yeah, Reigns is having matches with Jason Jordan. Yeah, Reigns is having matches with Elias. But at the end of the day, the main segment, the main feud is Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. And I like that because Samoa Joe isn't just a guy that you want to have come out in an open challenge and Reigns beats him after a great 20-minute match and that's all said and done for Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is the guy that I want to see in a program with Roman Reigns, and I like the fact that Joe is the one in the program with Roman Reigns, despite the fact that that program is ultimately going to end up as a L, as a loss for Samoa Joe, because of course it is. Of course WWE isn't going to have Roman Reigns losing to Samoa Joe. Oh no, no, no. Not so close to WrestleMania, because for WWE, this is as close as you can get to WrestleMania, right? Right? We're almost at the Royal Rumble. It's pretty much WrestleMania season for WWE, right? Anyways, Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan. This was a very good match. But it was a typical Roman Reigns match, where the opponent did 85% of the offense, and Reigns, he had like one or two small comeback attempts, and then one big spur of offense, and it's always, by the way, the same big spur of offense, and Roman Reigns wins the matchup. As good as this matchup was, it wasn't good because of Roman Reigns. It was good because of Jason Jordan. Because Jason Jordan was hitting belly-to-bellies, back suplexes, drop kicks, Northern Lights suplexes, and here's Roman Reigns hitting a Superman punch and a spear, and it's all said and done. Let's call it a night. I mean, that's not how a match is constructed, buddy. Roman Reigns is clearly being carried to a good match. And don't get me wrong, it takes two to tango. I know that. I'm the first one who's going to be telling you that. But at the same time, it's just Roman Reigns taking a heap of offense and a comeback at the end. It's the same old match every time. It gets boring. It gets formulaic. And very soon, people are going to start to realize that. Everybody on Roman Reigns' bandwagon, right? While he's with the Shield, they love him. You ain't going to be loving him when he's in the Royal Rumble in a last-minute segment with Shinsuke Nakamura, and it's Shinsuke Nakamura and Reigns, last two people in the Rumble, and it's Roman Reigns throwing out Shinsuke Nakamura instead of Shinsuke Nakamura throwing out Roman Reigns. Yeah, you're going to be loving that one, aren't you, buddy? You're going to be cheering Roman Reigns after that one, right? You're going to be going to school and talking about Roman Reigns and how he's the best thing ever, right? No, you're not. You're going to be shitting all over it. But were you shitting all over it when he was with the Shield? No. So, why are you doing it now? I mean, you can see right through this. This is WWE's clear attempt to get this guy over. It's so crystal clear. You have all these people on the Roman Reigns bandwagon. As long as he's with the Shield, right? Gotta be kidding me. Anyways, in the end here, let's go over this matchup. Reigns, he won after Jordan. He got two Northern Lights suplexes in a row and tried to bridge, but his injured leg, didn't give him all the leverage, so Reigns was able to kick out, get a second Superman punch in this matchup, and he followed that with a spear to win. After the matchup, Samoa Joe took the mic and said, "I'm going to go to that ring and kick your ass right now." And that's exactly what Samoa Joe was doing, locked in the coquina clutch on Roman Reigns. But Jason Jordan got a back suplex on Joe, and he hit a Superman punch anyways, because apparently the big dog didn't need any help. So there you go. There you go. Jason Jordan getting Superman punch beat here tonight and pretty much falling flat in his attempt at the Intercontinental Championship. So there you go. Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, they continue to build their program, and there's more on that later in the night. We'll talk about that, but Kurt Angle, he was in a backstage segment on the phone with Stephanie McMahon, who is clearly giving him a verbal lashing, telling him to get things under control, with Jason Jordan walking in and telling him that he has to give him a match against Samoa Joe later tonight, and he also demanded another Intercontinental title match because he came so close. Kurt Angle got angry, asking who Jordan is to demand all these things of him, saying that he will consider the match with Joe. That's when Samoa Joe came in like an absolute badass, and he blasts Jason Jordan into the wall, and with all this intensity, and that's what I love about Samoa Joe. He brings intensity, bro. With all this intensity. He was like, Angle, give me the match. Give me the match. Because like father, like son. So there you go. Samoa Joe wants the match. So presumably that's going to be happening next week on Monday Night Raw. They made it seem like it was going to happen tonight on Raw. Like Jason Jordan was going to be an idiot and perform again here tonight. But it looks like that's going to be going on next week on Monday Night Raw. We move on to Paige versus Sasha Banks. I originally thought that it was going to be Absolution, Mandy Rose, Paige, and Sonya Deville against Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James, but it turned out to be Paige versus Sasha Banks in a singles matchup, and I think that worked out for the best. I think that worked out for the best because this was a good match. It was a good match. The match went on for a long while, and for a long while there was no interference, and it was very decent. It never got to the point of being a great match, but it went like you would expect. It was a good match, especially for it being Paige's first match back in a ring, her first official match on that Monday Night Raw stage. She did very well for herself. There were some cool spots. Paige got a sunset flip off the top. Sasha landed brutally right on the back of her head. It was awful. Sasha doesn't look like she tucked her head in at all, bro. There was a nice exchange where Paige tried for a rampage, but Sasha broke out and she locked in the bank statement. But Paige, she got to the ropes. That was a near fall. I'm like, shit, are they actually going to have Paige tapping out here? Why would you do that one? Why would you do that one? But that was not the case. When Paige broke out of the bank statement, that led to a brawl on the outside between the members of Absolution and Mickie James and Bayley, who were on the outside, and that distraction that distracted Sasha, and that distraction allowed for Paige to hit a boot and the rampage for the win. After the matchup, Absolution laid waste to Sasha with Mandy Rose hitting a forward drop suplex into the knee of Deville, and that ended the segment. Good matchup. Good matchup, and this is why I made the case for it to be Paige to come back, because clearly Paige coming back is a lot better than the debut of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I can already imagine. Next week it's going to be Sonya Deville versus Bayley. And how's that one going to go across, buddy? How is that one going to go across? It's going to be garbage. Sonya Deville isn't good in that ring. She's not good in that ring. If anything, she's passable at best. Now imagine Mandy Rose. I would say that Sonya Deville is a lot better than Mandy Rose. But imagine Mandy Rose. She's like Eva Marie 2.0. Oh my god, that one is going to be awful. She's slightly better than Eva Marie is Mandy Rose. If even better. So that's going to be one to see. Mickie James versus Mandy Rose the next week after that one. I'm already predicting it. And after that, they're going to have a 6-woman tag. So, I mean, you can already tell the next, 3 weeks of television for these women. It's very predictable. Very, very predictable. So it's going to be Paige versus Sasha Banks here tonight. Maybe Bayley versus Mandy Rose, or Bayley versus Sonya Deville the next week. And then Mickie James versus Mandy Rose the next week, right? And I expect those other 2 matches to be absolutely garbage. Or they're going to be short and it's going to break out into a brawl because these women really can't wrestle. And WWE is going to try to hide that fact. So there you go with that one. We go to a backstage segment with Elias. And I don't know why, but Elias sounds so much better and so much more natural than everybody else when it comes to doing these backstage segments. He just walked in with Kurt Angle, or telling Kurt Angle, he told Kurt Angle, he's like, and he's just so laid back too. He's like, listen, Kurt, I want you to silence your cell phone and hold your applause until after I am done speaking. And clearly that was absolutely hilarious. That got a giggle out of me, if I could say so myself. But that is besides the point, because he said that he wanted another opportunity at the Intercontinental Championship. But Kurt went ahead and gave that to Jason Jordan, and that's plain favoritism. So he's going to go out there and give the WWE Universe all that's left to give him, a concert. Because Angle's bastard son, Jason Jordan, has already taken the opportunity, with Angle saying that he has an idea for Elias. So there you go with that one. Clearly that idea was Braun Strowman. Who else was it going to be? You're going to give me another matchup between Elias and Apollo Crews? No. Titus Catering was nowhere to be found here tonight. Unfortunately, bro. Elias, he was kind of salty because he didn't have his apple pie waiting for him when he got back from his concert. So he was quite pissed off. But that's besides the point. WWE, they showed a video package for Braun Strowman versus Kane. These promo packages make WWE storylines look like the most interesting television to ever be produced. But in reality, they produce garbage every single week. if only the production team was writing storyline. Imagine that one. Enzo was backstage rallying up the cruiserweights, particularly the ones on the Zo train. He scolded Daivari and Noam Dar for losing to Rich Swann last week, encouraging Tony Nese and Gulak to do better this week. And then WWE, they had to sprinkle their bullshit all over this. Why? Because Nia Jax came in out of nowhere with the biggest, most pathetic smile on her face, and she just starts smiling at Enzo, and then she says, "How you doing?" She had a look on her face like she wanted Enzo to plow her harder than the cornfield, bro. You have got to be kidding me if you're telling me that the best thing that you have for Nia Jax is to put her in a program on 205 Live with Enzo Amore. Clearly this is WWE's latest attempt to get 205 Live over by having Raw and SmackDown superstars on 205 Live. This is going to be a colossal failure, and this very reason, this garbage storyline that comes out of left field making no goddamn sense is the reason these cruiserweights are a failure. This is the reason the cruiserweights are a failure coming out of the Cruiserweight Classic. Because why are you giving me such ridiculous television that I couldn't possibly buy into if I was a blind man? I mean, are you kidding me? Anyways, we go to Tony Nese versus Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali, and this is why this disappoints me so much that WWE throws these garbage storylines our way. First of all, Nia Jax, are you kidding me? Why are you disposing of Nia Jax and the momentum that you have given Nia Jax by making her look like a fool in the Cruiserweight division? I can already tell this storyline is going to completely bury Nia Jax. No doubt about it. Or bury, whatever the hell. Bury, same shit. It just pisses me off that this is the way WWE has to go, because then you watch a match like this where they're given the time to go out there and put on the best type of action that they can, the type of action they were putting on in the Cruiserweight Classic, and you're immediately disappointed that these guys are being hindered and held back by garbage storyline and the fact that nobody on Monday Night Raw gives a crap about anything the Cruiserweights are doing. This was a very good match. When it came to in-ring, at least, with Mustafa Ali at one point hitting a springboard Spanish fly. And it did not end the match. Drew Gulak, or I think it was Tony Nese, one of those two, came in at the last minute, and that got holy shit chance. The crowd was getting invested in this, bro. In the end, it was Mustafa Ali who looked for his 450 splash, his inverted 450 splash, may I mind you. But Tony Nese, he hit an enziguri, followed by his big knee in the corner, which looks absolutely devastating, by the way, which was followed by Cedric Alexander, who hit the lumbar check on Tony Nese, with Tony Nese rolling out of the ring. That brings in, or Cedric Alexander, he quickly goes for Mustafa Ali, who's still injured in the corner. He hits the lumbar check on Mustafa Ali. Drew Gulak comes out of nowhere, and he throws Cedric Alexander out of the ring, and he gets the pin. And that's an awful decision, bro. That is an absolutely awful decision. Realistically, you should have gone with Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander continues to be screwed over. Why is it every time we get one of these multi-person number one contenders matches, Cedric Alexander is always the person who's like about to win, but gets taken out at the last minute and either pinned or gets the pin stolen from him? It's ridiculous. Cedric Alexander versus Rich Swann, you didn't even need to have Cedric Alexander win, but it would have been such a better matchup, bro. It would have been such a better matchup and a less predictable matchup, may I mind you, if you would have had Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. It would have been unpredictable. I would have been saying, who's going to win this one? Now I know Rich Swann is definitely going to beat Drew Gulak, because who's going to want to see Drew Gulak versus Enzo Amore? Not you, not me. And, I mean, everybody can agree with that one. Nobody wants to see that rubbish, bro. Nobody wants to see that rubbish. But, I mean, if you would have went with Cedric Alexander, with Swann, if you let those guys go and you gave them time, there is no way that shit would not get over. And we would get a glimpse at what this cruiserweight division could be. Those casuals in the crowd would get behind this, because there's no way they couldn't get behind that. It would open a lot of eyes to the cruiserweights, because there's a lot of people who look at these cruiserweights and they say, what's so special about them? If you put Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander in that ring and you allowed them to go for 15 minutes, that would definitely get over. Which makes it boggle my mind why you're putting Drew Gulak in there, because now you have the face-heel dynamic, and on top of that, Drew Gulak is the one cruiserweight who has the no-fly zone. So you're not showcasing the cruiserweights in any way. In any way. So what type of garbage is that? Gotta be kidding me, bro. Cedric Alexander versus Rich Swann would have been so much better. It would have been the right decision, but of course not. After the match, Gulak got interviewed by a resident WWE robot, and he tried to answer the question with the PowerPoint presentation, but they were all out of time, which eerily resembles what WWE thinks of this cruiserweight division. Anyways, we go to Elias, who's in the middle of the ring. He starts his latest song and takes shots at Los Angeles, saying that he is the biggest star of all time. He continued his concert before Braun Strowman came out, starts beating the crap out of Elias. Elias, he tried to fight back, throwing Strowman into the ring post and hitting him with the whole guitar, bro. He broke the guitar on Braun Strowman's back. Strowman no-sells the guitar shot, throws Elias into the ring, power slam. He starts throwing the steel steps into the ring before Kane's music hit. He appears on Titantron, and he taunts Braun, accusing him of forgetting what it's like to be a monster among men, or I think he said a monster among monsters. Kane goes on and says maybe Braun will remember next week as they face off in the ring. Kane says they will ascend into the abyss next week, but only one monster will emerge. Ha 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 ha. Kane laughs, and Braun looks on from the ring, fuming. Who cares about this matchup? This matchup will do nothing for Braun Strowman that the Big Show did not do for Braun Strowman. Is it going to be a good matchup? I don't know. I didn't expect Big Show versus Braun Strowman to be a good matchup. They put on a damn good matchup on Monday Night Raw. 2 or 3 times, actually. So is it going to be a good matchup with Kane? I don't know. I honestly do not know. Do I care? No. That's the one thing I do have an answer for. No, I don't care. And I'm sure you don't care either. There's nothing Kane is going to do for Braun Strowman that hasn't already been done. I mean, this guy came back from a whole ambulance crash in like a week or two, bro. In like a week or two. And you're telling me Kane is going to do more for the credibility of Braun Strowman than that? Are you kidding me? He's not. He's not. And it's just simple as that. So there you go. Kane versus Braun Strowman is happening next week. Asuka versus Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox clearly got beat in this matchup in quick fashion, and it shouldn't have been any other way. But it was what happened after the matchup that they were really going for here. Absolution, they came out once again here tonight, with Asuka once again walking off, leaving Alicia Fox in the ring. I don't like the fact that they're teasing the Asuka thing week by week. I mean, aren't you building Paige versus Asuka? Or at least I would think that they're building Paige versus Asuka towards WrestleMania. Now you've already had 2 confrontations between Asuka and Paige's group of Absolution. I don't understand that one right there. I would have had that confrontation that they had last week and have that be the only teaser for a while. But WWE clearly did not decide to go that way, and I don't understand that one. But Absolution, they came out once again here tonight with Asuka once again walking off, leaving Alicia Fox in the ring. Paige, she took the mic and she said that she's actually not here to hurt Alicia Fox, and she actually loves Alicia Fox because Alicia was her only friend 1 year ago. So Alicia is her best friend. But Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville don't think the same way. So she slowly started backing up, and she allowed them to attack Fox. And once again here tonight, Absolution stands tall. So there you go. At the expense of Alicia Fox, Absolution stands tall. Bada boom shakalaka. Bo Dallas versus Finn Balor. This was absolutely nothing special and felt more like filler than anything else. And this once again goes to show you the garbage that is the 3-hour format. Clearly Balor won with a coup de grace and really nothing else. Balor. Who would have thought Balor is directionless on Monday Night Raw? Somebody so talented has no goddamn direction on Monday Night Raw. Look at that one. Back from the break, probably the best part of the show. Probably the best part of the show. The announcers show us Matt Hardy's post-match breakdown after last week's loss to Bray Wyatt. We also see some of Hardy's bizarre Woken tweets. The graphics flash, and we cut to Bray Wyatt backstage. Wyatt asks, "Who is Matt Hardy?" And says he knows. The fans know, but Matt himself does not know. The video is interrupted by Matt, who has a few broken-style words for Wyatt before the video cuts back to Wyatt. Wyatt calls Matt a coward and goes on until the video cuts back to Woken Matt. The video cuts back and forth a few more times. Matt says, "Thanks to the consumer of terrestrial entities who has been woken." Wyatt says last week was not Matt's breaking point, it was his. Wyatt actually feels alive again. His heart is pumping and there's a fire inside of him that will only grow stronger. That fire will not cleanse you or save you. It will make all of you burn. Matt says Wyatt left him with no choice. Matt sentences Wyatt to deletion. The video cuts once again as Wyatt laughs, and then hilariously, Matt's broken laugh is just so goddamn hilarious. Matt laughs, Wyatt laughs. This happens a few more times and ends with a bizarre Hardy, and he does the teeth thing, the teeth chattering, if you guys can hear that. But fans, they start chanting delete in the arena now as the announcers try to make sense of what they just saw. So it was pretty much Matt Hardy explaining what has happened to him. He says that he has been awoken within a new vessel of life, or the vessel has been living within this compound that they call Matthew Hardy. So, you know, the whole broken stick explaining it to the crowd pretty much, and Bray Wyatt will be the first victim of the awoken Matt Hardy. So there you go with that one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. This is actually something that fits Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt's character. I was absolutely laughing my ass up at Matt Hardy laughing, and then it cuts to Bray laughing, and then Matt Hardy laughing, because Matt's laugh as the broken character is just so goddamn ridiculous. And the way Matt Hardy and the character is supposed to be being serious, but realistically it all is just so goofy at the same time, but you can invest yourself in it at the same time. That's just what makes the broken character so goddamn great, and I feel like they did a great job at capturing the essence of that. It's great to see broken Matt Hardy back and doing his stuff. Hopefully we see broken Matt or awoken Matt bring in Senior Benjamin. He brings in Queen Rebecca, King Maxwell, Vanguard 1. Hopefully we see things from the Hardy compounds. Hopefully they shoot videos for Matt Hardy's household. Hopefully they do things like that, because they had a lot of fun with it in TNA. They got really creative with it in TNA, and with WWE on a bigger platform, they have the ability to do just that. And especially with the starting feud with Bray Wyatt, it's going to give you an opportunity to see just how creative WWE is going to and can get with this broken gimmick. Hopefully they do allow Matt Hardy to have reign over this gimmick and to speak on how he wants to handle this. Hopefully they are giving him some type of creative freedom. It doesn't need to be complete creative freedom, but some type of creative freedom as far as how this angle goes, because he knows how this gimmick works. He created this himself, clearly with the help of some others, but he created this himself. He loves this gimmick, and hopefully they allow the ball to be rolling in his hand, and this isn't Vince McMahon doing this how he wants, and they have a writer writing for Matt. That's not the way it needs to be. It's not the way it should be. So hopefully this is going to be handled well going forward. Week 1 is looking simply delightful. We move on here. We move on here to the main event matchup, and that was The Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. This was a good matchup. But we've seen this matchup how many times already? It was a very good matchup, but nothing that we realistically have not seen before. So really anything they did here was not too special. There were some cool spots. We've seen the Superplex Falcon Zero combination from Seth Rollins. Whenever he pulls that out, I am gleefully happy. I think that should be his finisher, the Falcon Zero, but that's besides the point. Instead of the knee. Anyways, we've seen Cesaro trying to go for a neutralizer, but Rollins, he flipped through. By the way, when was the last time Cesaro hit the goddamn neutralizer? It's always like a teaser spot. He's never hit it. It's crazy, but that's besides the point. Because Cesaro, he went for a neutralizer, but Rollins, he flipped through, landed on his feet. He hit the knee, or the proper name, the V trigger, for a near fall. Cesaro and Sheamus got disqualified here after Sheamus wouldn't stop attacking Ambrose. But Kurt Angle restarted the match. He came out, restarted the match as no DQ, and that allowed Ambrose and Rollins to get a huge spur of offense. They threw Cesaro over the barricade, threw Sheamus into the steel steps, went and got Cesaro, did a frog splash on Cesaro for a near fall. In the end, though, it was Samoa Joe who came out of absolutely nowhere, and I started getting excited. Because I thought Samoa Joe was going to be debuting his faction of the Authors of Pain and Samoa Joe, the Samoan faction. That's what I thought they were doing, and I even saw that like a little bit coming when, you know how WWE does that thing that when somebody's coming out, they have the reaction of the crowd first, like everybody just pops up and they see the person, and then they go to the person. Unfortunately, that person, or the people that I thought were going to come out, the Authors of Pain from NXT, who were in the War Games matchup, they're goddamn monsters, are the Authors of Pain. Go check out their work, especially with DIY. Those are fantastic matches. The match they had with TM61 at NXT TakeOver San Antonio. But that's besides the point. I thought they were going to be debuting that faction, and that actually would have caught me by surprise. That actually would have came out of nowhere. I thought that would have been cool, but that was not what they did. Roman Reigns instead came out to try to save Ambrose and Rollins. Samoa Joe retreated into the crowd, and Sheamus hit the bro kick out of nowhere for the 1, 2, 3. Sheamus and Cesaro retain the tag team championship. So there you go. That was the ending of Monday Night Raw, and it doesn't look like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are going to be getting another matchup for these tag team championships, and they shouldn't. I think from here you go on to Ambrose turning on Seth Rollins. My one question is if they do the Ambrose turn, which at this point they're definitely going to do, and if they don't, I'm going to be super disappointed in that. But I'm wondering, because they're going to do this, it's pretty much confirmed at this point. I'm wondering, are they going to do Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, or just Seth Rollins? Because are you going to lump Roman Reigns into that equation? My idea on Behind the Mic when we discussed this was to have Dean Ambrose turn on Seth Rollins, have them go back to being singles competitors, and then have Kurt Angle announce that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, or have them both earn their spots into a triple threat matchup against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship. Have them earn their way into a triple threat matchup that's going to be happening. Have Paul Heyman come out when Brock Lesnar returns to Monday Night Raw and have him say, no one on Raw is capable enough to take on the beast Brock Lesnar by themselves. We've ran through the Joes. We've ran through the Strowmans. So you know what? We're issuing a challenge to 2 superstars in a triple threat matchup. Or have something like that happen. I don't know why Brock Lesnar would want to put himself at a disadvantage in a triple threat matchup. Or have Kurt Angle. Have Kurt Angle announce that it's going to be a triple threat matchup. Have Paul Heyman say there's nobody else for Brock Lesnar. I think we can say we're done here. And then have Kurt Angle come out and say, no, you're not done here. You're right. There is no single person that can take you on by themselves on Raw who you have not already ran through. So we're going to make it a triple threat matchup at the Royal Rumble, make things a little bit more interesting, and then have tournament-like qualifying matches, and have Dean Ambrose win one, have Seth Rollins win the other, and then you go into the Royal Rumble with a matchup where it's believable because it's 2-on-1, but at the same time you have Brock Lesnar or Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, who they have to work together if they want to take out Brock Lesnar and eliminate Brock Lesnar from the equation. But at the same time, how could they work together? How could they trust each other when Dean Ambrose just turned on Seth Rollins? So it's like a thing where they have to work together, but at the same time, how are you going to work together? So that could be an interesting dynamic, and I think that would be a very, very good triple threat match if going into the Royal Rumble, if that's the way you want it to go. I'm hearing maybe Seth Rollins going singular against Brock Lesnar, and that leading to the turn, since Dean Ambrose would feel neglect, since they're supposed to be attacking. I don't know. There's so many ways to do it. I like my idea best because clearly I do. That's why I'm saying it. That triple threat story really brought that to my attention. So there you go with that one, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of things they can do, and I think since they did not win back tag team championships, it's going to lead to the split of Rollins and Ambrose. Ultimately, I wanted it to be Rollins and Ambrose winning back the tag team championships, and then the Revival breaking them up, because wouldn't the Shield versus the Revival sound goddamn awesome? But that's besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much all the ideas I got for you here tonight. That's pretty much everything that happened on Monday Night Raw here tonight. I hope you enjoyed each and every single thing that you heard in your review. If I had to give this show a rating out of 10, it would probably be a 5.5 to a 6 out of 10. Not a bad Monday Night Raw here tonight by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen a lot worse. It was a decent show here tonight, but plagued by the same goddamn problems. That commentary and the knee is absolutely awful, and every time I hear the big dog, I want to blow my brains out. But that is besides the point, ladies and gentlemen, because for now, that has been your Monday Night Raw review. Make sure to go check out all the other content, including past Monday Night Raw and Smackdown live reviews. This weekend we had Behind the Mic up. We do pay-per-view reviews, Clash of Champions review coming next Sunday. I believe that pay-per-view is. I don't even goddamn know. But Clash of Champions review coming up. You got NXT TakeOver reviews. San Antonio is going to be the next one. We reviewed NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series as the last pay-per-views, so make sure to go check that out. Top 10's coming. End of the year top 10s, where we do top 10 matches, top 10 top 10 superstars of the year, breakout superstars. We do top 10 worst superstars of the year. So all that fantastic content right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. If you do not want to miss any of that, make sure to subscribe, click that notification bell, go check out the Twitter, and of course respond to this question that I'm going to be posting in the comment section down below. Because for now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and for now, I am out of here. I'll see you tomorrow for your SmackDown Live review.